What's up, everybody? Good evening. Tonight we're going to do our stretches. I've been telling you guys we're going to do some yoga poses, and we're going to do that tonight. It's about a 20-minute routine. Before we do the actual routine, going from pose to pose in a nice, proper motion and one form, I want to go through the poses with you quickly, show you the right way to stand, how your hips should be, your shoulders should be. Now, keep in mind, I'm not a yoga instructor. I'm a drummer. I do yoga. You know what I mean? That's what it is, and I do it on a very small scale. So I'm going to show you right now how I do yoga. I'm 45 years old. I've broken bones in my body. I've pulled and strained muscles. I've hurt my back beyond any comprehension that I shouldn't even be walking right now. So as far as injury, I know what it's like to be injured. I know my body. I know what I can do, how far I can go. That's up to you. Whether you do anything, you do a little, or you do none. You need to listen, pay attention, and you need to know your own body and your own limitations. And you need to know that you might see somebody do a pose and they're extending all the way over here like this, okay? If you can go this far, or you can go this far, or this is as far as you can go, then that's as far as you can go right now. Yoga is not just walking into a gym with tight clothes on, putting down a mat, and doing poses. It's absolutely not, that's not what yoga is. Yes, that's a part of yoga. What yoga is teaching you how to breathe, teaching you how to relax. It's connecting your body with everything around you. Mentally and physically, it's bringing peace, exercise, relaxation, proper blood flow through your body. And I promise you this, I was that person who sat there and said, you know what, yoga's great, I'm sure it's good, for some people they must love it, I just want the benefit of the stretches, I don't need to breathe and do it peacefully in an almost meditative state. I don't need to do any of that. I'm not interested in the forms. Well, it took me a few years to actually even give in. When I started doing it, it felt good. I did it solely for the exercise and stretch benefit of it. And it was not until maybe in the last 4 to 5 months I was doing it. I do it every morning and I do it every night now, and I'm starting to add in a midday exercise of yoga, and that's the more intense one. The one we're doing now today would be one that you would do in the morning. This is an energy type of a yoga, so this is something you can do in the morning, and it's going to help get your body ready for the day. Now, as I was doing it, one day I was doing it, I was just in a pose. You know, my back, as I mentioned, is very bad. I dislocated 8 discs in my back when I was 18 years old, so it was a nightmare for many years. So, you know, the forward stretches are tough for my back. They were. Doing martial arts for so many years, I used to be able to kick straight up, my legs straight above, side to side. And when you stop doing those exercises, you know, that time span in my life between 26 and 40, let's just say 42, when I was, you know, I lost all touch with all that stuff. Your body, like a stretched rubber band, it doesn't just go back to its shape. It contracts and gets so tight that my muscles in my hamstrings, my thighs, behind my knees are so tight, they really hurt. So long story short, you know, I do these poses and I breathe and I close my eyes and I'm relaxing in the pose and I'm trying to feel the pose. I'm honoring what yoga is, you know, the pose, the strength, the grounding of your feet, the curving of your spine, from your tailbone to the top of your head, to out to your fingers, to the soft eyes, every aspect of it. And one day, click. I got it. I got it. It just struck me, and it was that spiritual aspect of yoga. The same with meditation. You know, meditation brings an inner calm to a person, a spiritual awakening, but with inside that person. It's not religion specific. It's something internal. It's an internal awakening. And yoga does the same thing. So with let me stop talking enough. Because like I said, this class will be pretty lengthy. So, and we're going to go through these poses and then the forms pretty quick. So I don't mean I'm going to speed through them and rush through them, but like I said, we have the entire class that we're going to be doing as soon as I'm done with this, and that's the class. So before we even watch that, I want to say that I did film it, so it's nice for the archive. I filmed myself doing the entire routine, no sound. I went back, I voice over, recorded, talking on it. So, you know, for me, it's a, you know, you think doing a play along to a song is tough to get past the camera. Try sitting down and doing a voiceover of watching yourself do yoga as a 45-year-old guy for your drum lesson site. Let me tell you. So, if it feels cheesy or weird, I apologize, but you got what I gave you. All right? And we'll get to that in just a bit. So listen, the first thing we're going to do is breathing is always the most important thing. You never stop breathing. You know, sometimes we get into a pose where you're straight you're holding your breath. You never want to hold your breath. So if the best way to not hold your breath is be aware of not holding your breath. When you hold your breath, simply stop breathing. Don't think to yourself, oh, I'm not holding my breath. Oh, I'm doing so bad. I'm not holding my breath. Just up, not holding my breath, and breathe. Now, when we're doing a routine, if our arms are up like this, and I say, and now exhale and bring your arms down. If you're on your exhale here, wait till you take your breath in, and naturally on your own breath. Don't try and keep up with me when we're doing the video. Mimic me. Follow what I'm doing. And that does not mean do it as I'm doing it. That means watch me do it, listen to me do it, and then you do it. Watch me go from the next pose, explaining it, and then you do it. Okay? That's very important. Now, the feeding in yoga, the footing, the feeding, listen to me. The footing is so important. I know my dogs are barking. That's another aspect of yoga. You can't do yoga in an isolation bubble. Yoga studios are off main roads. You have to learn to focus on what you're doing and not worry about what's going on around you. And that's the other aspect of yoga. All the small, intricate aspects of it are going to help you focus. Okay? Feeding. We're going to start right there. The first pose we're going to do is called mountain pose. Now, the line of your mat, the straight line of your mat, and if you have your foot down, right, this part of your foot right here has a straight line to it. That should run parallel with your mat. Your feet should be about 6 inches apart, okay? Now when you do this, you're going to be turning your heels a little bit outward to line this part of your foot up with the line of the mat. And you do the same with this one. It feels like you're slightly pigeon-toed, okay? You're going to do this. Now, as your heels are out like that, open your toes, your big toes, spread your toes out and put your foot, the front of your foot back down. So again, you're standing with your feet about 6 inches apart. You're turning the flat outside part of your foot parallel with the mat as you open your toes and spread your toes and turn your feet. Now you're going to feel from your leg, from your foot, all the way up to your thigh. Your thigh feels like it's twisted in because of the turning your heels on the outside. So what you're going to do is with the part of your lower back, your buttocks, your tailbone, you're going to tuck that in and you're going to turn your thighs out just a little bit and bring your legs straight and up. So your feet are gripping the floor. You're turning your thighs back in and out. They go in, and now you're turning them out as you tuck. You're bringing your stomach in. You're rolling your shoulders back and letting them come down. If your head is in front of your heart, you need to bring it back. Strong feet, strong legs, tucked hip, tucked stomach, chest expanded to the sky, shoulders back, balanced head, hands down. Okay? That's mountain pose. And you stand like that. Simple. Now standing from mountain pose, the first thing we're going to do is you're going to bring your arms up. So right, you're standing in here, you're going to turn your hands out. You're just going to bring your arms up over your head. You're not going to scrunch up your shoulders. You're going to bring them up and expand your chest, keeping your head balanced, remembering your footing. You're grounding with your feet. You're still in that pose. You're standing like this. You're curving your back as you're standing. Slightly curving your back, and you're slightly looking up with soft eyes. Okay? You're standing like this. When we return to mountain pose, you're just going to bring your arms right back down like this. It's really simple. All right? From mountain pose, we're going to do a side bend. Now, a lot of you already have done this. We've been doing this since day one on Drumeo. Remember? You're standing in that, but that footing. Remember that footing. Toes in, gripping down, turned out, bring it in, tuck in. Mountain pose is very, very important. So this pose, remember, you bring it in, we take our left hand, we grab our right wrist. We're grounding down our right ankle, not grinding, but grounding down the weight in our heel, okay? And from our heel, you're making an arc. You're not sticking your hip out. You don't have to bend that far. You're just making a curve all the way from your heel up the side, all the way up to your fingers. With your head, you're now turning your chest a little towards your arm and looking out through your elbow. So again, you're standing like this, arms up, left hand grabs right wrist. You lean to the left, grounding your weight and body on your right heel. Turn your chest a little towards the right. Bring your head up slightly, looking out through your elbow. Okay? Arms will come back down. You'll go to mountain pose. The next one we'll do from there will be in the same pose. Our arms will be up. Remember, palms out, arms up. You can turn your palms out when you're up like this standing. From here, we're going to do a back bend. And you're making the curve from your tailbone to the top of your head. So you're just coming back. And again, remember, you know your body, watch your feeding, make sure you're parallel with your mat, with the sides of your feet. You're in mountain pose. You're back. Do not go back far. If you can't, don't. So you're going to stand in this pose. You'll exhale. You'll come back and bring your arms down. We're going to do this again. You're going to come up. We're going to go back bend. Then we're going to swan dive, letting our hands come down as we come forward above our hips. You're not bending by sticking your butt out and going like this. That's not a forward bend. You're doing it above. You're lifting your ribs. You're coming down over your hips. Your arms are up. You're swan diving down with your head straight, looking straight down, and you're just coming straight down. From here, we're going to bend our legs, put our hands on our hips, push down on the hips as we stand up, and return to mountain pose. Okay? Very simple. We're going to repeat this a few times. Then, this is a very tough one. No laughing. From here, we're going to come up, we're going to come down, we're going to be in forward fold. You're going to take 1, 2, 3, 4 steps back. Your hands are going to be flat. We'll get to the position. The outside of your hand, this part, is in line with the mat. Your fingers are spread open. Your middle finger is pointing straight. The outside of your hand is lined with the mat. Your middle finger is straight. Your hand is open. So we came back. Don't worry about putting your legs straight. You can keep your legs bent. What you want to do is curve your spine. You don't want to dip your head like this. You want to arc Stick your tailbone up, arc your back, and bring your ears between your biceps. From here, you can take a few steps back. Now, if you feel this stretching in your legs, you can lean forward, lean your legs in. But from this position, you want to eventually bring your heels down and your legs straight and your back arched. All right? From here, the next pose we would do, let's turn this mic, make sure it's picking me up. That probably sounded great. The next pose you're going to do is Cobra. Now, please be careful again with these poses. And excuse me for having to lay down on the floor. But when we're in Cobra Pose, your arms are at a 90-degree angle. So as you're laying down on your chest, your back of your arm is going to be flat, and it's going to come down and create a 90-degree angle. Okay? Who's that on the camera? Okay? Right there. So you got your hands in the proper position. You're lined up. Your feet are flat out. When you bring yourself up, and you bring yourself down, you're supporting the weight from your feet all the way up. Again, you're making that nice curve from the tips of your toes all the way up to the crown of your head. So it starts with your feet, your head is down. With your feet, your chest is going out in front of you, not up in front of you. Now you're curving. You're not scrunching your shoulders. You're relaxing your shoulders, bringing your head nice and back, looking up with soft eyes. You're not throwing your head back like this and crunching your spine. You're looking straight up at the sky in front of you. From here, you mindfully, slowly, come back down. Okay? From here, we're going to push back to our knees. You're going to sit cross-legged pose like this. From here, we're going to do what's called Cobblers Pose. You're taking your feet, you're putting the soles of your feet together and your heels together. Don't worry about pushing your knees down and getting this far, this big wide distance. The important things is the soles of your feet touching and your heels touching, your toes touching. Take your hands, put them behind you. Rest them, fingers up, not flat on the floor, you could. Scoot yourself in towards your feet. Get them nice and together and flat from this position, okay? From here, relax your elbows, get your body grounded, and you can bring yourself up and sit like this. You can put your hands here, you can relax. But keep that slight curve in your spine, okay? Remember that slight curve in your spine from your tailbone coming up. That good posture, your shoulders back, and a balanced head. It's always mountain pose. Even if it's not standing, it's always mountain pose. Okay? From here, since we're on the ground right now, there's a few more standing poses, 2 more we're going to do. But I'll show you these first. From here, when you're in Cobblers Pose, we're going to do what's called a simple seated twist. We're going to do it with both legs. I'll do it with my right leg now. You're going to pick your right leg up. You're going to lift the inseam of your foot, lay over over the back of your foot, like this, okay? You're again going to adjust your butt. You're going to get your spine so you feel straight. You don't want to sit like this. I don't want you to sit like this. So from here, you're just going to take your right hand on your knee, a simple seated twist. You turn your body. We're twisting our spine beautifully from the ground all the way up. Don't lead with your head. You're not turning like this and leading with your head. You're turning from the ground, low, up your waist, your ribs, your chest, your shoulders, and you let your head follow. Relaxed eyes, a nice twist going from the ground and just right off your side. So you're going to sit like this. We're going to come back to Cobblers Pose, and we're going to switch and we're going to do the same thing the other way. You're going to sit from the ground up, you're going to turn nicely. And don't turn. Simple seated twist. If you can only go here, that's fine. If you can go here, that's fine. If you can go here, that's fine. Okay? From here. All right? The other pose sitting like this is called staff pose. From Cobblers Pose again. Every time we come back to Cobblers Pose, I want you to get that good grounding with your feet, your soles together, your buttocks sitting on the floor, and just, hold your ankles here. You can keep your hands like this if you need to. Get your elbows straight if you want. Get your fingertips on the ground. Get your shoulders down though. Shoulders down. Good balanced neck. From here, you bring your legs up. You bring them out in front of you flat. This is called staff pose. This is a seated mountain pose. Same aspects we apply to when we're standing. You do the same thing here. Okay, staff pose. Again, arms at your side. Get your body straight, your spine straight. Now, when you're doing poses, when we do poses, you'll notice, you'll see me move. It's okay to make minor adjustments as you're moving into the pose or into pose. If something's starting to cramp up or not sitting right or fitting right, you move as you're doing it. So even this, you move your body into the pose, into the position. You get it, you set yourself. You set yourself right, and you can relax. You can sit, and you can relax, and your body supports itself. The same thing as staff pose when we're standing. When you're standing in staff pose, remember, our feet are outside of our feet, lined up. So open our toes up, grip the floor. All of a sudden, my thighs are twisted in. I turn them out, I bring my buttocks in, tuck my stomach, chest to the sky, shoulders out. Soft eyes, straight ahead, balanced head. When you stand like this, you feel the perfection in the human body. You feel the connection with the ground because you're not even supporting, you're not holding yourself up. Your body is standing at absolute perfection the way it was meant to stand. You're grounded, you're solid on the ground, your footing is unbelievable in the ground. You're grounded, you are a part of the earth. Now the other poses I mentioned we're going to do when we're standing up are warrior and warrior two. The first one will be warrior two. Your back foot is going to be out on a slight angle. We're going to start out like this. You're going to turn your right foot out straight. You're going to turn your hips. Turn your hips to this. This is warrior one. You're going to turn your hips to your foot. Your heel and your back foot are on an angle so it's comfortable. You're going to bring your knee forward just so you can see your big toe and your second toe inside your knee in this position. Now you can get the position nice and stretched. Remember, you're not standing like this. Our arms, we start with our arms. We turn like this. We turn, we get our hips. So here we go. Turn your hips. Your arms are up in the air. You turn your hips. Get your feet grounded. You bring your knee forward. You make sure you're not standing like this. Your hips are not facing this way. You want to turn your hips. Get this. You'll feel the bend. Again, there's that curve in your spine. It's going to pull. If you can only go a few inches apart, that's fine. When you're in this position, your hands in the air. You have the curve. You're looking up at a nice, comfortable angle. Soft eyes. And what I mean is soft eyes is you're not looking up with your eyes open wide, looking up. Relax your eyes. Soft skin around your eyes, a soft gaze, breathing in and out. You're standing like this. Warrior one. Now warrior two, and we do this both sides, warrior one. Warrior two is the same thing, but your hips are now turned to the outside. Same footing. Instead of here, your footing is on the outside. Your arms are parallel, like this. Your head is turned. Your eyes are looking over your fingers with a soft gaze. And you breathe. You come back to center. Adjust your feet. We'll walk them in. We'll walk to the front of our mat and we'll be in mountain pose. Now, we were on the ground before in staff pose. We did a few positions. The other one we do is when we're in Cobblers Pose, where we go from staff pose, we're going to bring our legs into a simple cross-legged pose, right foot, right shin in front of left shin. Now, in all these poses you want to do, it's called activating your feet. You want to curl your toes. You don't want to leave your toes like this because that's a relaxed foot. It's going to sleep. All the positions that your feet are like this. When we're on the ground, our feet are on the ground, we're grounded. When we're doing something where our feet are like this, the simple seated twist, I want you to activate your feet. Feel your feet. Curl your toes. Wake them up. So in this position, bring the cross-legged pose. Relax. Nice. Relax. You can even go wide if you want to. It's okay. This is one of my favorite poses. Activate your toes. And from here, again, the distance in the ribs, above your waist, we're going to come forward. Any distance. If this is what you got, that's it. You sit right here and you relax. You go here, and this is it. You relax. If you can go further, you go further with that straight back. You want to eventually get to a point where your forehead can just either rest on the earth or on your forearms. Okay, so you'll come forward, you'll feel it in your hips, you'll make your little adjustments as you're going into the pose. You'll feel your back, you'll stretch your shoulders out, you'll stretch your shoulders and let them open up. You'll come to your position, you'll fold your arms, and you'll relax. We'll slowly come out of this. Okay? We'll go back to staff pose. Adjust, ground yourself, center, get your alignment. Then we'll cross our legs again, left in front of right. You'll get yourself aligned. You'll activate your feet. You'll come forward. Again. Breathing. Okay. We come back out of it nice and easy. What else? Well, this one. We're going to come back. Now we're going to lay down. It's called Constructive Rest. Your feet are underneath your knees. Your hands are flat. Now, this pose is called Bridge Pose. So before I have to explain it before I do it. Feet are on the ground. Again, you're tucking your small of your back. You're not lifting your body up from your head. You're tucking the skin, like lifting up and tucking your shoulder blades underneath behind you, tucking your buttocks underneath you, and you're lifting with your shoulders. You're keeping your spine nice. You're remembering to tuck your hips, like we talked about before. Your good, strong feet. You'll bring your arms in underneath you and just lightly interlace your fingers. So let me just do Bridge Pose one time before you're laughing at me, and you'll see what I mean. So tuck in your buttocks by lifting up, curl your back, push down, flatten out your spine on the ground. So you come up, push down, lift your back, push your shoulders underneath your shoulder blades. Okay, from here, you just slowly lift your hips up. Don't over push, don't curl. You lift, you bring your hands in, easy, rest them down. You tuck in your lower back. Watch your thighs will adjust. If you're like this, you tuck in your lower back, but bring your stomach in. Create a nice, straight angle. Your feet are in the mountain pose position, remember? And you just hold this position and you slowly come down. We'll repeat this a few times, and then from here we go to relaxation pose. You'll put your arms out, you'll extend 1 foot at a time, and we'll slowly relax. From the toes, here, all the way up. We'll breathe, we'll come up. Now the one thing I want to point out, in the video, you see I'll turn to the left and get up, and I say, turn to the right. I only turn to the left so you can see. But as we're laying in this position, again, you would turn, bring your knees to your chest. You turn your body, bringing your arm up. Almost to the, and we're doing this to the right. From here, you bring yourself up peacefully. You bring your body back on the mat. Simple cross-legged pose. Adjust. Ground, center, and we're going to be done. So again, make sure you breathe. Watch your footing. Be aware of your body. And remember, you don't have to go insane with the poses. This is not meant for you to start stretching like a pretzel tomorrow. Yoga takes a long time. It's taken me months and months and months to even get to the point where the aspects, the internal feeling and meaning of yoga have kicked in. Let me adjust my shirt. So, be comfortable. Don't worry about the noise going on around you in your house. This isn't meditation. If it's quiet and you can get quiet and you can dim down the lights even more, that's even better. But again, breathe easy, relax. This next part is, as I said, is about 20 minutes. So for the first time, if you want to just sit and watch it, that's absolutely fine. If you want to do some of it with me as I'm doing it, please remember what I said. Don't do it with me as I'm talking. Let me talk, let me show you, and then you follow afterwards. Here's our official yoga class. Thanks so much, everybody.